Well, I know why.
Is this supposed to be like an Afro samurai lookalike dude?
That's a woman.
Is it a woman?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Herbal Synergies, the shop. I'm your host, Sinji. With me, my co-host, as always, Bay.
What up?
What's up, brother?
She know. Make it to do what it does.
I'm making it do what it do.
Sometimes to make it do what it do.
Or do you does what it does?
I don't even know. I just be there.
But can you does what it do?
Nah, not even in the slightest.
Oh. Alright, so that's where we draw the line. Does what it do is drawing the line.
Yeah.
Alright,
That's where.
okay. So we got some unfortunately we confirmed we had to say goodbye to Spy.
Yep.
Feels short lived.
Very sad. For
Yeah.
the time being, at least.
Hey, listen, really popular. Definitely gonna be another season. I feel like.
I don't. That's what you think, but then you never know.
You right.
My family could just be a one and done. They might just be, hey, we'd rather just do the manhwa and keep it moving.
Is Spy Korean?
No, I was just being fancy.
Oh, okay. Um Also had to say goodbye to Mob. That one feels
Yeah.
like an actual goodbye. That one feels like maybe not making any more episodes. Goodbye.
Yeah. I'd second that one because I was like, ooh, Mob, okay. This one feels a little like it was goodbye, showing how he's all happy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was like, ooh, okay, Mob. I see you, baby.
Yeah,
Glad
Mob.
to share your journey with you, Mob. So,
But we say our temporary goodbye to Spy and our unconfirmed final goodbye to Mob and welcome in two bangers. Irby picked out two bangers. He looked, he prolonged, but he found.
I did. I was like, oh, this one looks interesting. Give it a shot.
Now,
So,
the one
but
banger actually produced one of my flavors.
yeah, which one?
The magical one.
What scene was it?
The last one.
Oh, when she swooped in.
Yo, bro, she just came crashing in. I was like, bro, what? When I saw her flying towards the city, I'm like, what building is she about to crash in? And then I saw, like, oh, graduation ceremony. Oh, brother he doesn't even like her, bro.
I don't think he likes her either.
This brother doesn't
Um,
even like her. I can't even tell who I don't and don't like right now because a lot of people are just giving me bad vibes.
they are, and I'm just like, man. But yeah, I thought the beginning she was slayed, she was being chased by those things, and the guy's like, "Oh, we gotta save her." He's like, "It's no use. It's already." I was like, "Oh man, that girlfriend to die." And then she turned around and slayed all of the wolves. I was
Bro,
like,
she went ham.
she did. She was slice, 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 slice. I was like, oh, okay.
And that's not what, that wasn't even like where
OP. That
she
was
is.
just yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't even like where she is now, and like then we went back in time. Like that was like prior to everything that we watched. That was just like, oh, this is currently her.
Yeah, like she was just out there, just like chilling. It's like, yep, I guess we'll slay a pack of wolves today.
I think what was more like just mind boggling to me is like, okay, so the title of this is, well, what was your flavor? I'm like jumping the gun.
Oh, that was my flavor when she sliced them up. But I had some other ones that were nice too.
Okay,
Like honorable mention for Luke.
should we just like dive into this?
I don't know, dog. You want to get the small fry out the way first?
We can get some small fry out the way. All right, so
Mm,
what's the first small fry? The Sacred Blacksmith.
I was gonna go with Jujutsu Kaisen.
Let's do Jujutsu. Oh shit! I don't even think I finished reading Jujutsu.
Yeah, not much there.
It didn't look
I
like
could,
much. Go ahead and talk
yeah.
about it. I'll
So
skim through it.
so basically, the military they start to invade and they start capturing sorcerers and that to be a part of the culling game to actually like enter that to answer Cogne's call. So they nabbed some more sorcerers, and the ghetto's plan was to heighten the colony's curse energy, and and he wanted to end like a custom proceeding merger with Tegan. So that's what it was. And part of what his strategy is, they want to kill all the non sorcerers in there, and then they attack the boy UG and the crew. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, what do I feel like? I'm seeing a lot more black characters out of nowhere.
Well, I know why.
Is this supposed to be like an Afro samurai lookalike dude?
That's a woman.
Is it a woman?
Yeah.
No. You're talking about the girl with her hair tied up. There's another
Oh,
guy,
okay. Then yeah, I thought you were talking about the woman. I was like, yeah, that's a woman for that one.
and
So
they're gonna attack my boy.
yeah, they attacked UG. Well, they didn't attack him per se, but some military people did. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, man, did you get Trojan? Because there wasn't much for Trojan either.
Yeah, I got the children as well. There wasn't much for that as well. Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, just Tokyo does a quick recap of the events. They start running in their chase, and Tokyo gets caught, and Ellie and Azuma break him out, and then Lady Zara almost catches him again, and pretty much she can do like anything, uh, control stuff, and then they're almost free. So they would just spend most of the pages running.
Does it does it feel like does children feel like it doesn't know what direction that it wants to head into you?
I think it has a thing, a direction, but it doesn't know how to get there per se.
Okay. All right.
Like it's like, oh, it's just like kind of like, oh, you need to just hurry up and get there, or yeah, it's weird. Because it took like 30, was it? No, it took like I want to say like 25 chapters before we found out that Azuma actually had powers,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy.
And the man went berserk too.
Yeah.
But like
So
that's when it was like, okay, this is getting good. Now it's getting weird again. I don't really know what's going on in children.
yeah,
I'm just reading it now.
there are, and you're invested a little bit.
I'd read Boruto if it came out weekly and gave me 17 pages to read instead of a whole book.
Yeah, but I like Boruto though.
Yeah, from the way you describe it, it seems to be getting.
It's heating up, but it's not there yet.
It seems to be getting political again. Like
Yeah,
I missed the action part and went back into the part where I fell off.
you did. You should have caught up when they was fighting each other, but no. It's like, oh, now it's just strategy and talking about how to do things. So
Nah, man, they killed my boy Kuruma. I can't go back.
yeah, is he dead though?
I don't know. I guess I'll find out.
You won't. I'll find out and let you know.
Then I'll read.
Yeah.
So you're gonna
So
read all of it? Hell no, I'm skipping to the part where I find
find out he's back.
the
Like he's been
show's
fully
dead
run
until
away.
then.
Yeah.
This is one long time skip.
Yeah. Pretty much. But yeah. All right. So those are out the way. You want to do Peach Boy or Blacksmith or Magic Revolution or Eden of the East, whichever one.
All right, let's go from worst to best. We'll do the Sacred Blacksmith, and just because I'm not sure where Eden of the East falls, we'll do Eden of the East. Then we'll do Peach Boy Riverside, and then we'll do the Magical Revolution because I think
That one was
that
a
one could
banger.
possibly be
Yeah.
a constant finisher.
Yeah. But all right, go ahead and start talking about it.
All right, so bear in mind, guys, on my two, I might be a little foggy on my memory because I don't write much, so usually go off my memory. And I watched these episodes a couple weeks ago when I thought we were gonna go back to back, but we didn't go back to back. But I already watched the
It's
episode.
okay,
So,
dog. I
we're,
got you.
yeah, we're gonna go with it. All right, episode 6, Princess. So this episode started off with Sicily getting attacked. That's all I wrote. That is literally all I wrote. Now let's
Yeah.
go into my memory. The princess is a princess from the actual kingdom, like the royal palace or whatever. And she comes through with a handful of people, and they all have, surprise, surprise, demon swords. I'm thinking demon swords are some fucking very valuable, very hard to find, blah blah blah. Gonna be almost like devil fruits. How people thought devil fruits were gonna be a big deal in One Piece, and like everyone had them. Nah, this bitch had a whole Power Ranger force full of demon swords. Now,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I was thinking. I thought about it too. I was like, why didn't I think before that there'd be like demon sort of the wind? I was like, there's like other elements, earth, water, fire. I was like, there could have been more.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, why didn't I think of that? And then I felt foolish because that pretty much happens in all of them.
No,
So
yeah, that was. I felt like I got bamboozled too. I'm like, oh, this is okay. I probably should have figured there was more than one, but damn it, like 5 of them, 5 new ones at once. Like, what the hell is going on?
yeah,
So, a group of girls show up to attack Sicily, and the princess goes to try to persuade our boy Luke. That didn't go too well. So both parties end up fighting. Luke handled the princess fairly easily. Again, with all the time in the world to forge his own sword.
he forged it real quick too. Like he just pulled out of thin air.
Yeah, it's just I don't understand why we in the first time he did it, like really brought on the fact that he needed time to do it. Man just does it
Well,
in a few seconds.
well, I think it might be different too because in that initial time he did a sword, but this time he did a katana.
I think they're all katanas.
I mean, the classification of like the lengths is what determines it. But I think that when he first did the one with Sicily, he made a sword,
Hmm.
and this one I think he just did a katana.
Right? Okay. So let me just say this. Yes, Sicily got her ass beat, but my girl really hung in there against like what was it, 3 different opponents?
Yeah, I think it was three
It
because he
wasn't
had
until they actually started attacking all at once that like she just couldn't handle it.
to.
But eventually they get the better of her because 3 against 1 and Sicily is Sicily. She ended up temporarily losing Arya, I think her name is Arya, yes.
Yeah,
And Luke came, rescued her, and then they all ended up sitting at the ruler. What's his name?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. He doesn't seem important to me. I don't even know if it's a town, it's a village,
It's
it's a
definitely a town.
it's like a trade town. It's not
Hmm.
obligated to be a part of anything. Independent trade town. The leader of this independent trade town. He's housing Princess Charlotte, her 3 troublesome, also demon sword wielding miscreants, and Sicily's there, Lisa's there, Luke is there, Arya's there in her human form, and Charlotte's like requesting Luke and the demon sword, and the guy's like, can't do either. Okay, well, I'm this and this. I'm like, how do we know that? She gives almost like I think a sigil
It's like a
showing,
little knife. Yeah,
yeah, the knife with the sigil, and it was like, even though my mom was a mistress, my father was this, this, and that, and he will vouch for me, and blah blah blah. I was like, I don't know. In most cases, shows currently watching or reading a webtoon such and such with queens and kings and mistresses and bastard childs, usually at the shitty end of the stick.
yeah.
But The overall consensus in this episode is that it was decided until they figure out the situation, all four of them, granted three of them attacked Sicily, will be staying with Sicily in the Sicily household.
Yeah. But yeah, I think worth also mentioning is my flavor when my boy Luke, old Charlotte, used the Amaterasu and he sliced him up with his katana. I was like, "Oh, look at you! I see you, King."
Yeah, he just cut that
But
shit. No, even he didn't even think about it. So what will you do now? I will cut fire.
yeah, I was like, "Oh, he cut him! He cut him up!" I was like, "This might be my flavor of the week." And then I watched my other shows.
Amaterasu.
Yeah, so but yeah, now that I was also thinking about it too, I feel like they might not all be demon swords per se. I was just thinking about it, because the black haired lady, she showed up and then she turned into a demon sword, and the other people had demon swords, but they never showed back up. So it just could be something that they say. They're like, "Oh, this is a demon sword," but it's just really a regular old sword.
But do you think the demon, quote unquote, demon swords would have those powers?
I mean, it's possible if they're enchanted, but I think the quantification for like a demon sword has to be able to take human form. That might be the true demon sword, but like these might be like demon sword bead level or something. I'm not sure.
Imperfect demon swords or
Something like that, yeah. Or where someone didn't make a contract or something. I have no idea. I just had that
bootleg,
thought. Yeah,
mass
leg boot.
produce.
I wouldn't say mass produced because there's only like three of them.
Nah, I bet that whole kingdom has them.
It might. Who knows?
Go out there, it's just demon sword tournaments and shit.
Demon sword, bubblegum machines. You get a demon sword today to turn into Oprah.
Oh my god, man. Okay, would you like to talk about Eden of the East?
Yeah, I'm talking about Eden in the East.
What was your
So
impression of this?
it's one of those ones that is like I feel like it's like a murder mystery type deal now. You're kind of just invested to see what the heck's going on. I did. I was like, oh, this is. I was like, okay, because reading like the synopsis, I thought he was just going to come in and just start discovering stuff, and it just took a whole different like turn. But like, it's the first episode. It
Mm-hmm.
left you. It left you like, oh, okay, I need to see the next one. Which I'm like, dang, I picked this one to watch. I should have picked something a little bit boring. I definitely could have binged this one.
How dare you say that you would? How dare you?
Yeah, I would be like, oh. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, this one has some funny scenes too. Made me laugh. I was like, oh, okay. But all right, so Eden of the East, season one, episode one.
See,
Title, yeah, I picked up a prince. So this lady arrives at what appears to be like Washington D.C. I was like, are they in D.C.? I went to look and I was like, it looks like the monument, but I was like, I can't be sure. They haven't said anything, so I just let it ride, and it goes out. And then so she's at the White House throwing quarters because I think she's trying to make a wish in the fountain.
mm-hmm.
And then some man's on the phone. He's talking about agent. He's like number nine. He's like, oh, this might be last we see at number nine, or this, that, and the other. And I'm like, number nine. Okay, that must be the man that's naked waving at the girl. He's holding a gun in his hand. I'm like, yeah, she was being accosted by the police officers, and I was like, oh, I was like, okay. I was
Right.
like, that's
So,
sweet.
so once he said that, I was like, number nine. Okay, so right then and there, that implies there's more than one of this, whatever this kind of guy is,
Yeah.
and maybe it's an experiment they're running.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I was like, number nine. I was like, yeah, what about 007? No, no, no.
Hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, on the phone, they got weird. It kind of, yeah, it's definitely feel like it might be like a detective novel type deal, which I do enjoy those shows. So yeah, and then he steps out in front to like greet the girl, and he almost get hit by a car, and the people they get him, and he like ends up disappearing real quick. I was like, oh, he hopped on the truck, but he didn't. He just hopped over the fence, and they went chasing after the truck. And so old girl gives him her jacket and scarf. I'm like, why wouldn't you just go in your bag and just throw one, give him a pair of pants, like a jacket, and scarf? I was like, come on. Um, but then it made sense because she left her passport in the jacket, which she had to go get.
Yep.
And my boy, he has uh, amnesia per se, but actually he just erased his memory, and he's supposed to be like some sort of savior.
Man, for a motherfucker with amnesia, he still retained a lot of wits. Like he had the wherewithal to wipe his prints off the gun, but he tossed it in the White House garden. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, yeah, I'm more impressed with the way he finessed dude out of his pants and put him
I would
on.
love to know how he did that. That dude looked like he was. It was the happiest moment in his life just to give up his pair of pants.
Yeah, I'm thinking like he used his phone and like called them. Was like, hey, check your bank account. Here's money. Give me your pants. Because I'm under the impression that phone can pretty much do anything he wants it to do.
It's a weird phone.
It is. I would still use it though. But it's cool. I think they actually did invent a phone like that a while ago. I don't think it took off though because people was like, oh, this is weird and unconventional.
It comes with the dial by the circle, the old dial thing. You have to put your hand finger on the number and like rotate it.
Yeah, the rotary phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so let's see here. Yeah, and she had to go to.
So like he got the dude to give him pants and like he was just going to the apartment the phone told him to go to that was titled his house.
Yeah, his house, and then gets his place, and he looks at it. It looks like a terrace pad, and like the police thought he was funny, so they started chasing him and looking for him. And this was the other funny part. The girl, she left her luggage, and she just started chasing old boy down the street. And I'm like, sweetie, what is you doing?
All she had to do was turn it.
Yeah,
She ran
like
just fine the other way. All she had to do was rotate it.
yeah, she just was wilding. So
Oh
then,
man.
so then she goes up to his apartment. It's like, hey, I need my passport and jacket. And he's like, okay. So he ends up looking at her passport, and he has a corresponding passport with the same year. So that's how he picks his identity because he had a whole bunch of passports and such in his terrorist pad per se. But I don't know if he's a terrorist.
They just assumed he was a terrorist. He had a hella guns.
Yeah, and so then the police lady showed up, and she's like, hey, is this you? And she's like, the girl's like, no, is this your jacket? And so like he ends up like hiding her jacket, and he's coming out. He's like, okay, sweetie, let's go. And the police lady is like, hey, I need to see your Jimmy, your Johnny. She's like, are you Japanese? She's like, I need to see your Johnny. And he was like, oh, what? Yeah, sure. And he's like, drops his pants. And then they both go to blushing. They're like, ooh. It's like, nope, this couldn't be you in this photo here.
So nah, that looks like something I could work with.
Yeah. So I thought that was funny.
Now,
And she's like,
this man has amnesia. He has no idea what kind of person he is. He assumes he's a terrorist and proceeded to have no issue burning down his apartment.
yeah. I mean, not necessarily would burn it down. Maybe the fire sprinklers will start. I don't know. It's getting a little toasty.
One would hope.
Yeah. But so they leave out of the place, and she leaves her luggage. He's like, "Oh, I got an idea to get your luggage back for you." because they go to the police station and they mark it as like stolen, so that they will return the luggage to them when they find it. I'm like, oh, that is smart. Never thought about that.
And then it avoids them being late for a ticket, so they had to get new tickets.
Yeah, and then they got the tickets on the house because that was the only way they were going to replace them. Which I'm like, how did he know that knowledge if he forgot most of his stuff?
I don't know, man. Some very convenient amnesia.
Yeah, and boy, I think it's Akito Takizawa is his name he picked.
I don't know. I was so freaking entranced, I forgot to write both their names down.
Hey, I wrote his name down, but I completely missed her name.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta go back to the episode and just look at the passport.
Yeah, and then we found out that Tokyo was bombed and attacked. I was like, oh man. But yeah, it's one of those ones where it's just enough mystery and intrigue to keep you going.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I'm like, okay, I'm about to check this out, the next one. So, but yeah,
Yes,
do you
I'm
think it's a
intrigued.
banger?
I'm
Yeah,
intrigued.
yeah.
It's more so than that one with the guy that goes in the other world and he has the friend. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like he was chasing that girl, the vampire girl.
Chasing the Vampire Girl.
Because you thought
Uh,
it'd be like a detective thing, and he had to like,
Oh, Futo Pie.
yeah,
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 it's way better than that.
yeah.
So
Futo Pie. How do you forget a name like that? Damn it! I should have known that.
it's forgettable. That's why you forgot.
Freaking Futo Pie. All right, Peach Boy Riverside. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Episode 8, Companion and Companion. Okay, again, I didn't write much. I assumed I'd be talking about this recently after I watched it. And the funny thing is, I'm the one who suggested let's just not talk about my extra episodes. So I really fucked myself.
You may
But
have, but I
but
got you, dog.
we finally get to see the answer that Sally picks when Makoto and Sumeragi, Sumeragi say, "What side are you gonna choose?" And she's like, "Excuse me," she's like, "Well, there's pros and cons on both sides, and like if I pick either, I'd have regrets on both. But if I had to pick, of course I'd pick up Makoto." I was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
yes, yes, damn right, you pick Makoto, even though he's a twisted little shit."
yeah. He was. She was like, yeah, I have regrets no matter what I do, but like the path that I'll just pick the path I prefer. So he's like, yeah, I prefer to be with Makoto.
Yeah, but then Makoto ran away. It's like, what? No, what's wrong with you? You're not supposed to pick me. And then he ran away. It's like, the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah,
You just gave her an ultimatum and ran away. That's toxic as fuck, dude.
like what he wanted was her not to pick him, so he can keep killing without having his mind changed by her.
Yeah, yeah.
What I feel like.
He's like concerned that like she can change him. Because like
Yeah,
in that one flashback, it might have been in this episode, it might have been the last episode. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was this episode where Sally invites him to join her crew, and I think he declines and walks away, and the dog's like, "She's looking at you. Why don't you look back?" And he's like, "Cause if I look back, I might just take her up on that offer." So I don't think he's confident that he can continue
his
to do what he set out
yeah
to do.
his resolve will waver.
Yeah, it's almost like when I was gonna compare it to Sasuke somehow, but I couldn't think of anything like really good. Every time he's like, "Now
It's
I'm gonna
kind of
take."
when Sasuke is like, oh, I gotta destroy you and leave my past behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's
So
like just doubling down on it. It's like, nah, fuck what's good for me. I'm doing this.
yeah.
But
Sometimes people don't know what they want. They don't know. They want to do what's opposite of what's best for them.
so in the city, the three ogres show up. It's the boy,
Todoroki,
um,
Shinky, and I think it was like Burris.
Shinky,
No,
and
no, Not Burrs. It's some other. It's like Boro or something.
A bird one, and there's a sleeping one outside.
I didn't catch the name of that one.
Yeah, it's alright. I didn't get the name of any of them because I suck.
It's like Demi or something, or Domi or something like that.
Right? So, for some reason, the kid, he's in love with Meki. He just assumes Hawthorne is the Peach Boy and starts fighting Hawthorne. But prior to that, Hawthorne did, like, the town set off an alarm. Hey, ogres are attacking. There'll be a handsome reward. And Hawthorne was just talking this guy out of even doing it. It's like, nah, go be with your family. He's like, no, you're right. I'll be with my family. Boom, lightning strikes. I was like, damn, that's kind
Blapped.
of fucked.
Yeah.
And then boy was like, I was supposed to kill both of you, but I guess he was too big. So Hawthorne ends up fighting that guy. Meki ends up fighting. She realized what's going on and who's in the area, so she's looking for him. Runs into Blue Ogre guy,
Shinky.
Shinky, who ate the gum fruit.
I'd go to make a Luffy
Yeah, fuck you. I beat you
illusion.
to it.
Yeah. Oh, Rubber Man.
And Meki ends up fighting Shinky. Um, who's fighting? Fra ends up fighting the bird, and Makoto tries to fight the sleeping child, but I guess anyone who approaches the sleeping ogre with malice ends up falling asleep.
Yeah. That's how
So
it goes.
yeah, because they ended up saying like, it's pretty much unkillable while he's asleep anyway. I was like, why though? And that was why. As soon as Makoto wanted to, just passed out.
Yeah, he's
But
like, when
in
did I get under the influence and just went to sleep? I was like, yeah.
yeah, so now I'm wondering, okay, but where's the dog?
I don't know.
So why do you just always randomly not have this dog? Where do you leave the dog?
Yeah, here, boy, where are you?
And I'm still trying to figure out. And this has to be prior to the no. This isn't prior to the nun. Where's the nun? Where's the nun ogre that Sally made not an ogre anymore?
So I also had this other thing too about Makoto. He remember how he asked Sally about the hypothetical,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Yeah, I want to kill all ogres." But I'm like, "Yeah, you spared like two of them. Like, do you really want to kill all ogres, or is it just like something that you tell yourself because you just want to kill?" Because it makes no sense. You would spare them all,
I think
or you would kill them all. But I think it depends if he sees ogres with, like redeeming qualities or something. I don't know.
I think Makoto's twisted, but Sally and the dog are trying to influence him in a way where he's not as twisted as
Trying to get him to come back to the village.
yeah, they're trying to bring him back home.
To the village
But
hidden in the leaves.
but I think there's some sort of adrenaline rush. Like let's call it an adrenaline rush when the peach eyes are activated. Like Sally described, her blood will get hot. I think he
Hmm.
might be addicted to that feeling.
That too. I have no idea. But I'm like, my boy crazy.
But and the last matchup in this episode was Sally and Sumeragi because they became enemies. So Sumeragi's like, "Why would I move aside for you? You picked him." He was being. It was fair, but he was still being a dick.
Well, it's completely understandable because he was like, oh, you picked him on his side. So, like, why would I tell them to call off the attack? You
Exactly. I
know?
was just like, "That's fair." How would you? Why would you even ask, Sally? Like that's completely reasonable. What was interesting was Sally's eye wasn't activating while she was fighting Sumeragi. So is Sumeragi really an ogre, or is he just a very very up there human amongst the ogres?
Yeah, because he's part of the faction that wants ogres and humans to live together.
Or hear me out, is Sumeragi half human? and
He
half
could be
ogre.
half human. Because I always thought that like he was related to Sally somehow, but I was like, could be cousins. Maybe he's an uncle or brother or something. I don't know. But yeah, I thought that before.
Also, and this is just me playing off of the obvious what the fuck do you mean that Pete said, and then like the Peach Boy isn't what we think it is. What if
Hmm.
Sumeragi is the Peach Boy? Because like,
Could
and
be.
I don't really have anything to support this, but like, what if
Peach Boy
the
is
power?
Hawthorne.
No, no. If you ask Thunder Boy, yes, but no. What if the reason Sally's eye won't activate is because Sumeragi controls that power? And what if that's the reason Makoto couldn't kill Sumeragi? Because they've clearly met before. And it's not like Makoto tried to kill him at that moment either. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we kinda end with like everyone in dire straits and then Hawthorne was just about to die to the kid and then like an unknown party jumped in to save him. And I'm pretty sure that's where the episode ended.
Yeah, it's Winnie. He's like, oh, you're
Oh,
here.
Winnie the Witch, yeah.
Yeah,
From the freaking episode. See, there's no freaking backstory to these characters because they keep time jumping. Right
yeah,
when we were about to meet Winnie, we didn't get to meet Winnie.
yeah.
The
So
last thing we knew about Winnie is that she saved the other boy from the freaking library watch.
yeah, but yeah, Winnie. Mm, yeah, the flying, the rising ogre thunder. I'm like, huh. But yeah, that was a little interesting fight they had though. But yeah, we also Meki and Shinki. He's like, I guess he was okay to see Carrot alive, but he's like, oh, I'm not gonna let you go see Todoroki. I'm gonna kill you here because I don't want the ogres and humans to live in peace and harmony. So I thought
Yeah,
that was yeah, what?
yeah. He was just like, if you support Sumeragi, you support the humans and ogres living together, and I can't have that.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah, nice
So,
episode. But now for the banger right here, boy. The magical revolution of the princess and the genius young lady.
first of all, I don't understand why Al is a dick.
I don't understand that either. I think what happened is he's mad that Sally abdicated her throne
But why is he
because
mad about that?
because she gets to do like how she wants to do, and he's stuck holding all the responsibilities. It's like
Oh,
when you're,
wait, you might be right about that. Maybe he doesn't even want the throne.
yeah, I don't because one he wanted to marry a commoner, but I think she might be the older one, but kind of think it might go in order. I'm not sure how it goes yet because I haven't really explained the order of things.
But it seems like he's doing that out of spite. Like, no one. Well, it's just not common for a quote unquote villain to do something spiteful like they did towards the end of that episode to downgrade. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Usually they're conspiring to marry up.
I think it's I don't even know if it's like his doing, but I think like that girl she might be something working trying to work her way into royalty.
Yeah, and it's also there's something with that girl. 'Cause I don't know, maybe she looked too sad. I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell.
Something's off and you just don't know yet.
They're straying away from the politics too much with the over enthusiastic nature that is um what's the princess's name?
Honest.
Honest? I gotta write these
Yeah.
down. The only name I wrote down was Ilya the maid.
Yeah, I've heard that now too. Yeah, honest. But anyhow, let's start off with the beginning. It starts off by a young lady being chased by some wolf-like creatures, and there's two warriors there, and they see her get chased, and the one guy's like, "Oh, we got to save her," and the other guy's like, "Oh, it's too late," and he's like, "Oh," he comes to screaming, and she's like, "Hey, don't butt in," and then she proceeds to slaughter the pack. I was like, "Ooh." I was like, "Okay." She's like, "You're not getting any of my treasure." Slaughter, 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 killed. I was like, "Oh man, she's rough." And then the guy's like, "Who is that guy?" And they call her the plunderer princess of the hunt, marauder princess, because apparently nobles have the blonde hair,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's how like she's identifier. And then we find out that she's essentially Ashta. She can't use magic.
That was the most
So
amazing part to me. I was like, this bitch can't use magic? I just saw her
yeah,
fly on a broom, whip out some magic spears, blades, whatever the hell that was. She can't use it?
at first I was like, "Oh, she's finna kill him with this little knife," and that thing said, "Wow!" It
Yo,
turned to
bro,
a
I was just like,
sword.
what is that? And then it just transformed.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, she just made a sword." I was like, "Oh, she finna cut everything down." And so
And that she did. Off
yeah,
you go,
so
my little marauder princess.
yeah, she was killing everything, and she took all the stuff, all the spoils, and yeah, and then she ends up hoofing it back to the castle because she broke up her broom. So, but then we flash to uh, the royal nobles are walking around, and her prince brother uh, Algard's there, and they're all talking, and some of the nobles like, "Oh, a noble that can't use magic, we have no use for her." Da da da, and he's kind of like mad. You saw him clench his little fist, pulling the Arthur.
But I don't get what they're mad about.
No, he was mad.
Yeah, I know that. But like,
Well, if someone disrespected your sister, would you not be a little upset?
no, he doesn't. Al doesn't seem upset about them saying that at all. He
And
might
what you
even
mean?
agree. He was right
He,
in front of him.
yeah, but
As the
it's kind of
prince, he had
like,
every right to tell them to shut the fuck up.
but it's still kind of like diplomatic um, peacekeeping because I don't think they're in the best of terms.
No, because like, aren't those the guys that I was using at the end to help set up the girl?
No,
I
they
could have
weren't.
sworn they were the same guys.
No, those were older gentlemen that was talking
Hmm.
behind him. Yeah, so it was like I was like, huh. But I could tell they were like nobles from another land or place or something. I think they might have been from that lady's place. But yeah, but then we find out that Honest she invented magicology. That's how she made those weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And then she shows up in the hall with the wolf hide, and they're like, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, Dad, this, that, and the other. Like, you can't hit me. You'll tarnish the king's legacy, and you have to resign." And then she ends up,
He's like,
uh,
"What are you talking about?"
yeah, and then she ends up like leaving it, and they're like, "Oh, she cut through the wolf's hide. They're extremely tough. Not even regular swords can pierce." And she's like, "Yeah, it's because of her magical devices from her magicology." So, so then we get to she's getting tended to by her mate Ilya, and we find out that when she was 5, she started like remembering like her past life, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And this is when I had the thought that she's essentially a female Asta, but smart.
Mm-hmm. If that's gonna be the only tie-in to like the reincarnated part, I'm gonna say the same thing I said about the last reincarnated show we watched. Unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't even remember the last one.
With the wise man's grandchild.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Unnecessary reincarnation story.
yeah. But yeah. So we go to meet her scientist friend, Tiddly, I think, and she found out she collects curses, and Anya's. They start talking about stuff, this and the other, and we find out Anya's wants to conduct magic research because she wants to make people smile. I'm like, oh, that's genuine right there. And so then we flash to the school, and Prince Al is talking to Lonnie, even though he's betrothed to another woman.
Hmm.
And this is when I was thinking that like the marriage was forced here because he looks really chummy, but he just straight up walked by an old girl,
I know.
and I was like, ooh, I was like, why is he doing that? Walk by his betrothed.
And those
So
backstabbing bitches over there were over here trying to
yeah,
dirty talk
talking about some what is like yeah,
to
I
the
forget what
Commodore
they were
this,
saying.
even though like her father was just promoted to Baron status from something kind of work in his ministry or some shit like that. And
Yeah.
like even though you can tell that the white hair girl like felt some type of way about Al being close to the commoner girl, she
Hmm.
still handled it the way, which is why I couldn't tell if I liked her at first. So it's like I can tell she's actually not okay with this.
Yeah, but I mean, she didn't cause a scene. She didn't yell and scream. Like she
Yeah.
handled it with like decorum, because that's what was expected of a person in like her kind of position.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Hmm.
yeah, so yeah, so they're talking, and it's a political marriage. I feel like,
No, it is. They
and
addressed it.
yeah, they did, and yeah, so Honest, she gets her broom to work and she starts flying off. And then this is when we get the prince. He calls off his engagement to Euphilia Magenta, which talking about this a little bit though. Previously, he had a whole engagement where like she was waiting for him to talk about what he was doing, essentially with the lady talking to Lania, and so it was like he was like, "Oh, you're not worthy of me just because you're acting like this and this, that, and the other." Like,
And she
really
wasn't
throwing
really even
some
acting any way. She was just telling you, hey, you got to be mindful of what you're doing because, people talk
optics.
and you're going
Yeah,
to bring shame to both our houses.
yeah, and he was like throwing some vitriol at her, and I was like, "This guy's kind of a jagaloon here." Um, but yeah, it's like, man, I was like, this guy. And so he calls it off, but he didn't even get permission from his father to call it off. And he's like, yeah, I want to control my own destiny, which led me to believe that he was kind of upset because he has to do this when it should have been honest Phasia job to do that.
That's why this is
Because
so weird to me. It's just like we're doing, and that might be what's good about it, that we're doing things the exact opposite way. Like people are bitching about the main character because she's magicless, not because she has the right to the throne. The brother is bitching because
she doesn't have the right to the throne. She gave it
she
up.
gave it up, yeah.
Yeah,
But they're still bitching about her. The
yeah,
dude is bitching that is presumably bitching because he has to take over the throne and marry arguably probably the most would be in any other
powerful.
show
Yeah,
sought after woman in the show, and it's
yeah,
choosing a commoner. It's so freaking different right now that I'm surprised it hasn't been done already.
yeah. I mean, it has, the tale of Snow White.
No, no, no. In anime.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. So then he's like, "Oh, you're not worthy because like you've been bullying and harassing and like even attempted to assassinate Lani." And I'm like, when did this happen? And I feel like it's fabrications because you see two random girls that you never seen before that I don't think was with them, and then you saw those dudes like, yeah, we witnessed it.
I
And
think the
old
two
girl,
girls were her friends that were shit talking the commoner.
I thought the friends had longer hair than that, but
I
I'm
just
not
know when
sure.
they mentioned the friends, they showed those two girls. I
Yeah,
can't confirm that they're the two friends, but that's what I felt like it was. Because why was she alone then? If they were so like loyal to her, you know what I mean? She was by herself,
I mean they could have been off doing their own thing.
possibly.
But yeah, I was like, where is this coming from? Because like I kind of got the impression she was a good lady for this. I mean, granted, her family might have gotten wind and then decided to kill off the competition. But I'm like, I'm not sure. I don't know. But I was like, man, this is already hidden with some drama already.
Shit. I'm gonna be really amazed at the end if it's all true.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I didn't think she had it in her. But
All
believe me the
this
first
time,
time,
I liked you.
yeah, you had a high ground. No, but I don't know. But then so then Honest comes crashing through the window and she reads the room. She's like, oh, what's going on here? And she's like, oh, he must have called off the engagement because he sees Euphilia crying. And he's like, I'll take you away from here. Let's go. I'll ask my father, can I have you? I'm like, oh, snap.
Yo, and then she's like, don't worry. They'll know what happened here. And storms off.
She's like, yeah, I'll take the story and tell father. And she's like, wait, he's like, wait, no.
It's like, I'm not ready
Like,
yet. I don't have the right pieces in place.
but yeah, it's crazy though. I feel like he just I think he's trying to mess up so that he doesn't get the throne because he doesn't want it. I feel like he doesn't want it at all. Because normally what happens with like those type of marriages, they just marry off the daughter, and that's how they create the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's how they consolidate power. And they're like, nope, we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna marry off the son and let the daughter run free.
But normally it's that you give your daughter to a different house.
Yeah,
Like you
that's
marry your,
usually
you keep the son in house because you want your son to be the king. You look to raise the king. Now we're in a modern time, so maybe the creator had no issue with queen. Fuck that queen. You know what I mean? But like
yeah.
in a normal situation, if you're gonna have a relinquish the, confused.
Vindicate the throne, baby.
I'm over here like trying to compare it to like the standards of those time.
Well, sometimes it depends if you didn't have an heir, or sometimes if an heir was better suited for it, you would let her be a queen.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I think if they're not old enough to actually like govern, they have a queen or they either rule by proxy. So
Either way, it was a banger.
it was. I enjoyed it. I was like, dang, I wish there was more of this I can watch.
Now you can't binge this bitch.
I can't.
Would have watched the
I'm
first
just
episode. Nah, let's watch something else. Fucking ass.
yeah,
This one's too
yeah,
good.
yeah. I'm just waiting for it to come out again. I think it might be come out on Wednesday. So, but yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. She's funny a little bit. It's a nice show. I can't wait to see what they're going to. Hopefully, they go in a nice direction with it.
We shall see.
Yeah, they got like they have only have 4 manga volumes, so
My man liked the first episode. He checked the mangas out.
yeah, yeah. Light novels too. They're just releasing a light novel the 20th, so I'm gonna go check it out.
4 volumes. That might just be one season.
Yeah, the English release date's not until June 20th,
Gotcha.
so the light novel,
Definitely ain't fitting that title on the side of the book.
nah, the light novel came out like August 2021. The English release dates will be April 18th, 2023. There's 4 of those, so I'm like, I might have to look into this. Might have to do
Maybe.
some readings.
No, I definitely try to keep up. If I know I like a series, I try to support the mangas and buy them.
Mm, I ain't got cash like that, homie.
Yeah, just neither do I anymore, dog.
But you be doing it though.
You find a way to do the things you want to do.
You right. Might have to do something strange with a piece of change.
Hmm. You got anything else you want to talk about, big dog?
About to finish up Twin Star Exorcist.
Mm,
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm like, huh, didn't see that one coming, but it's all good.
just a week ago.
Okay, yee. But yeah, no, I don't have anything else.
Neither do I. Guys, that's going to do it for this week. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed, like, comment, share, and we'll catch you next week. Peace!
Peace.